Hey, what's up, Zach here, and today I've got the all-new Nike Structure Plus. I gotta say, I am shocked, shook, whatever, at really almost all parts of these shoes. I can't get over how much I like them and how much I thought I wouldn't. So yeah, a very surprising shoe, and I think definitely, put it this way, they're definitely not for everybody. But I think as definitely a daily casual shoe, we'll talk about the running aspect too, but as a daily casual shoe, these were just, I could not get over what these feel like underfoot versus what they look like on the outside. Nike 365 did send me these. Check out. However, this video is by no means sponsored, which we will find out pretty soon. Hold the cons, I'll about to tell you about these. However, all opinions, good, bad, and indifferent on these are all my own. But yeah, just starting off in terms of just this shoe for people with foot pain wanting a comfortable, just daily casual shoe, or someone that doesn't want to get foot pain from a casual daily shoe. Oh my God. All right, let's start off in the uppers. Now, number one, the tongue is not gusseted, which is a mistake. The tongue is also a little wimpy. It is a little thin. There's 2 layers of padding on here, and there is some Nike sphere in it. The thing is yeah, I mean, there's like actually a layer of padding underneath of it, so it's not gonna do much, I don't think. And as you go into the lace line is integrated. It does have some netting in there. Underneath of it, there's not much padding in the forefoot, but there is some tape under there, some underlays, as well as some fused overlays there in the forefoot and meshing. For a shoe that is basically all engineered mesh, look at the breathability test, and it takes a minute for the fog to get out. The fog does get out of the sides very, very easily in and around the tongue because there's no gusset, but put it this way, when I had them on foot, I didn't really have an issue with them in terms of heating up, but on that fog, like I said, it does take a minute, but it comes out of the sides easy enough. So honestly, I don't think you're gonna heat up. You're not gonna really have a problem, put it that way. Number two, if you look at the heel counter, the padding is just, I mean, it's normal. It's just okay. It's not super bulky. There is a runner's knot in these things. So if you don't put a runner's knot in, even if you just use the back eyelet here, heel slip it just like moderate, like mild to moderate. If you do use the runner's knot, it's mild. So if you're wearing them for casual wear, just use the highest eyelet or the back eyelet, and they're fine. And if you're using them for running, you can just throw a runner's knot in them. I will say, if you put a runner's knot in them, you're gonna get a little bit more lace irritation off the bat. I didn't really have an issue after a day, so put it that way, but it is gonna give you a little bit more irritation. And these uppers are incredibly light. That's the one thing they are. Nike's engineered mesh. When they want to, they can make it very light. And in terms of just fit, forgiveness, entry into them, just all around comfort in the uppers, we'll get to this in the fit section with the actual measurements of the shoe. But in terms of the uppers for fit, forgiveness, entry, and comfort, 10 out of 10 for sure. Before I get into the midsole teardown, if you do want to check these out, I do have affiliate links down below, as well as make sure you check out the Xenon Zen slide down below. I got a discount code for that, as well as a shoe and orthotic customization guide. Got a discount code for that one in the description below. All right, but looking at what your foot's actually standing on here, it's pretty simple. Just a whole bed of React X foam on the bottom, whole slab of Zoom X on top. We've seen this combination a lot in Nike shoes. That's kind of like their, if you want to make the shoe comfortable, do this setup. It is an incredibly comfortable ride. Now, if you look at, we'll look at the periphery here. It says midfoot support system. There really isn't anything, right? It's just a high wall of foam, right? It's just a high wall of the carry, of the foam going around like the React X carrier. And you can feel it on the inside, like it is there, right? I mean, your arch is sitting on foam, and a little bit higher foam on the medial side on the inside of your foot versus some others. And what I did notice on these is that the arch support right out of the box feels akin to kind of like something like a semi-flexible over-the-counter orthotic. Like it feels comparable. It's really, really outstanding. We'll talk about what that does kind of in the mid to long term in a minute, but we'll go through some of the stats here. Now look at the tensiometer on these things. It takes 53 newtons to get this thing to 45 degrees. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of bulk. These actually do have a flange on them, so there is a lot of foam in them. That's gonna break down over time. You look at this thing on the compression test, it only takes 29.7 newtons to compress this thing 5 millimeters, and after 3 cycles, it only took 15.6. So as you can see, like using them over and over again, just in rapid succession, it doesn't take much to start, wearing down this foam. Yes, it is very shock absorbing and it feels fantastic, but you can see there the resistance. It's not as resistant to force, over time, especially cyclic loading. Looking at the bounce height test on these things, 37 centimeters in the rear foot and then 43 in the forefoot. That's not really surprising. There's this, giant hole here in the rear foot, so you're gonna get a little bit more shock dissipation there versus in the forefoot where you got the more interaction of the concrete there, so not really surprising. That ReactX foam usually dampens ZoomX, so I'm not surprised it didn't get higher than that. But, there is no shank on these, and, for a plush daily trainer, a lot of times you're just not gonna see that. In terms of how high they are off the ground, it would have been nice to see one, especially maybe bottom loaded or something like that. We'll talk about this in the fit and kind of wearability section of these, but I will say, out of the box and in the short to mid term, I dare you to find a shoe that is more comfortable underfoot, that also offers as much arch contour and arch support. You just don't find that a lot in shoes where you get both, right? It's either like a little bit uncomfortable, you gotta break it in a lot and you get the arch support, or it feels like a pillow, but there's no support. In these ones, I think it comes down to some of the fit stats, especially in the rear foot, like we'll talk about. But in these ones, I was just shocked at how good they felt underfoot, but also how right out of the box supportive they felt. All right, but getting into the outsole tread, honestly, I think the rubber compounds on this tell you really all you need to know about these shoes. They made the softer rubber in the forefoot harder in the rear foot. And as you can see in the forefoot, it is just lugs and then just some linear patterns here. In the rear foot, it is just basically just a broken up pattern here. And there's a lot of exposed foam in here, so you kind of would hope this would be harder rubber here, so you're not just pummeling through the foam. On the belt sander, on the durability test, it did lose 0.5 grams. So it's definitely not the worst we've seen, but obviously not the best. And then the loss on it, you see all just comes in the forefoot. The rear foot really didn't lose much. So it is higher, abrasion resistance in the rear foot. That is for sure. In the forefoot, as you can see, it is starting to wear down. The thing is on a running shoe, and they say they want more flexibility and comfort in the forefoot from the softer rubber, and you do get it. It is, like I said, it's amazing. It feels amazing. Just in terms of someone that has any bit of shearing, if you're running, I mean, this is gonna wear down like crazy. So in terms of the actual compound of rubber and what it is meant for, walking casual, it's A+, it feels fantastic. And in terms of running, yeah, I mean, if you're a higher rear foot striker with some shearing, I guess that's gonna do better than if it were softer, but to me, you're gonna wear down the forefoot a lot in that if you're like a real heavy runner with any bit of a pronatory twist, which most people have a little bit of. So get ready to wear these down a little bit quicker. But also you're gonna wear the midsole down too, because there's there's no shank and there's such soft foam. So in terms of like, all in all durability, the rubber compound really is just the canary in the coal mine for the whole shoe in terms of durability, which is honestly the worst part about them. All right, but getting into the fit of the Structure Plus, parts of this shoe are so similar to the Air Force One in some weird ways. They don't feel at all like the Air Force One, but you'll see it in the stats of them. It's kind of odd how they share a lot of the same stats. Now, number one, they only have an in-flare of 6 degrees, which you would hope. It's a plush daily trainer, so they are really nice and mellow there, which good. Number two, they do come in long. They're 29.1 centimeters. They are a longer shoe. Now, you do get 9.6 centimeters of heel width. These are super wide in the heel, and I think that's what gives you most of the support. Yes, you got the midfoot support system, yay, but you wouldn't have that feel if you didn't have the wider rear foot. It does have a bevel here in the rear foot, but wider rear foot's gonna give you a little bit more clunk. 9.8 centimeters of metatarsal width, 9.8 of toe box width, and then only a 35-degree taper. So another really, really mellow tapering shoe. To me, if you're a narrow foot and you want less weight, you can go down a half size in these. Like I said, they are gonna be a hair long. Now, I'm always like going up a half size in these, right? In every shoe, right? I wear an 11. If you look at me on a Brannock device, my heel to ball is an 11. My heel to toe is like a 10.35. Like it's almost a 10 and a half, but my heel to ball is really long. And so functionally, when I wear an 11, I'm always going up like one half size. And I still didn't feel a problem in this, even in my true performance shoe size. So I'd say if you're a narrow foot, you want to go down a half size, that's fine. If you're a medium and you want that more one-to-one fit in these things, if you are using them for running, then I think that's fine to go down a half size in them. You can't just go true to size though. If you're wearing them for casual, a 2E true to size is fine. 4E, if you want to go up, I'd say in a 4E, maybe like one half size up, you're probably fine. Probably just break them in true to size. Their fit forgiveness is fantastic. And that's why they fit like the Air Force One. in the forefoot. Because the forefoot has such a mellow taper, it's more going toward the lines of an anatomic toe box versus a tapered toe box. And then 9.8 and 9.8, that's actually pretty mellow. So I'd say it really is all what you want to use them for. If you're trying to run in them and you're a narrow or medium foot and you want to get less heel slippage, then go for it. Go down a half size. Okay, in terms of the snake bitten foot here, in terms of a flat, I love these models. In terms of a flat, a neutral, or a high, really all three of them are just fine. Like I said, the uppers break in so well for a high arch, and they have such a nice stack for a high arch, and they contour the arch so well for a flat and a high. They're great. In terms of an ankle sprainer, you know, at first, because the rear foot is so wide, they're fine. It's just once that React deck starts breaking down underneath the Zoom X and everything else under there, that's where I think you might start to get issues if you're a runner in these things. For casual wear, I don't think really it's not a big deal because I don't think you're gonna pummel through them as much. So I wouldn't worry about it as much for casual, but for running, no. Plantar fasciitis, while they are new, they are fine, and it's gonna be hard to get a negative heel on these things. So I would say with an orthotic, I think they're fine just to load share the shoe. I think even just a low profile orthotic would be fine. Achilles tendonitis, yeah, I think they're fine with an orthotic. In terms of forefoot pain, while they are new, because you look at this thing, now this is after a couple weeks of use. I mean, you can just start to, I mean, I couldn't do this at first, right? You can just start to, you know, and proportionally now they're starting to move a lot. So you can just see, and when I've got those out of the box, they were actually pretty decent. I would say with an orthotic, they're fine. Give it an orange-o. Arch pain, yep. These are great, especially with an orthotic. Now, out of the box, these are basically like an orthopedic shoe. I mean, they're like the old man shoes that you get custom made, right? They're out of this world. It's just that it is gonna start to wear down. And so now if you put an orthotic in there, they're gonna last a lot longer. And if you're just wearing them casually and not putting hard miles on them, like you're not putting city miles on them, then they should be okay. But it would have been nice to have had an orthotic on there just to preserve this, because this would have been shoe of the millennium if they'd just be a little bit more durable in terms of arch support, especially for the comfort. Big toe arthritis, with an orthotic with a Morton's extension on them, I think they're okay because it'll stiffen up the shoe, right? So I think that you better have a Morton's extension orthotic. And then knee, hip, and back pain, I would say with an orthotic just to prevent sinking into the heel. So the one thing you gotta worry about in shoes like this is that, especially here, because it's beveled out here, you can get, now this is a 1 centimeter drop, so the drop isn't terrible on these things. So the one thing you can get though is what's called a negative heel. And that's when it just starts to compress here and the heel actually comes underneath of the forefoot. Now this is gonna be pretty hard to do on these because the forefoot's gonna break down too. But in some people that kind of rock back, if you get like an isolated negative heel where it starts scooping out here and you start loading more, right? Eccentrically loading more abnormally, that's when you could start to get the Achilles or the knee, hip, and back pain. So you're just gonna wanna put, like I said, even a lower profile orthotic in these is gonna do just fine, just to keep the structure of the shoe, right? You're really not gonna have a big issue. And look how long these are. So this is a size like 11 orthotic, right? Well, it's 11 to 11 and a half actually. And then look, it's barely getting, I mean, I can fit a finger in there. So yeah, I mean, this is long shoe. So there you go. That's why I said narrow, medium, you don't have size in these things. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below about these. I think in terms of a casual shoe, my God, like I was gonna get another pair of the Vomero Premiums to wear to work. And now I think I'm gonna get another pair of these. These are good and these are a little more flashy, and you know, when patients come in the door, it's like, ooh, what's he wearing? But these ones, it's like, this is brilliant from Top Gear, but I like this. I think I'm getting another pair of these. These might be in my rotation of work shoes here. Running, I think they're best for a midfoot striker, someone that can share the load on the shoe and not shear as much, so more of a marching type gait. So if you are midfoot striker, more marching type gait, I think they're fine, especially for a daily trainer. It's just good luck with durability. That's the problem in these things. It's just good luck with the durability of these things. But in terms of a casual shoe where they're gonna last you so much longer and the foam's gonna stay so much more resilient, honestly, as someone like me with a rigid high arch, a little more of a rigid foot, and I get prone to lower back pain, yeah, for sure, put my orthotics in this thing and I'm gonna be ready to go. So love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, like I said. And if you do wanna see what I think is kind of the biggest competitor to the Structure Plus, the Vomero Premium, make sure you click into this video right here. And if you wanna see what orthotics I always put in my shoes, the ones I recommend the most, make sure you click into this video right here. See you in the next video.